Welcome back to another video on DC Future States. And today we're checking out Harley Quinn number 2. And all you guys need to know is that Harley Quinn is working with Dr. Crane, or Scarecrow. He's no longer a Scarecrow, he's just, Jonathan Crane. And Jonathan Crane is working for the Magistrate, and now Harley is helping him out. But who they're going after is Black Mask. So we see Harley Quinn go up against Black Mask in this issue. So yeah guys, if you're ready, let's dive into this issue. We see Senator Hansen at a restaurant eating his pork chops. He says, "The chops are excellent tonight. My compliments to the chef. Now, as I was saying, we were able to catch that heinous Professor Pig. Thanks, of course, to my task force that ended his reign of terror. Pig. Disgusting creature. Now, your generous donations, I can assure..." Sorry, I can't... Help me. Please. What is... Now, out of the shadows comes Black Mask. He says, "Calm down. The acetylcholine in your food wasn't a lethal dose. The paralysis you're experiencing is only temporary, Senator Hansen." Now, Senator Hansen can't talk anymore. He's just sitting down, he can't move. And Black Mask puts his hand on the senator's shoulders and says, "I assure you, I would not kill you with poison. No, your death will be far more painful. It seems someone's been a very naughty boy with Daddy's wallet, Now, that's when Senator Hansen says, I was gonna pay you back, Black Mask." Now, Black Mask puts a knife to the senator's face and says, "I'm not here about my money. I'm here about what you did with my money. Allow me to regale you. Tell me, are you familiar with the myth of Dolos in the statue? Dolos is the Greek god of trickery and deception. He tried to create a fake statue of the goddess of truth, Aletheia, to trick viewers into thinking they were seeing the real thing. But he ran out of clay. If it weren't for the unfinished feats, Dolos would have gotten away with his deception. The lesson, Hansen, is you make sure you have enough clay before you create a fraudulent account that funnels my money straight to the magistrates." Now, we see Hansen, he drops his glass of wine. He dies. Now, we go to the next day, and we see Harley Quinn and Jonathan Crane. They show up to investigate what happened. They see the senator dead, and Harley Quinn immediately puts on the mask of Black Mask, and she says, "How do I look?" And Jonathan Crane responds, "Take that off. You're contaminating evidence, Harley." Harley takes it off and says, "Way to take all the fun out of crime scene, Crane." And Crane responds, "You're not here for fun. You're here to tell me how to catch Sionis." Now Harley looks down at the evidence and says, "I'm guessing that's not the kind of facelift the senator was hoping for. You can make this real easy on yourself, Crane. Sorry, Freudian slip. Which, in case you don't know, is when someone vocalizes their subconscious feelings. And now Crane cuts her off and says, "I know what it means, Harley. Tell me how you think finding Roman is easy." Now Harley stands up. She says, "So, try to keep up here. A guy who runs around in a mask shaped like a skull isn't afraid of the average Joe. Not that his name is actually Joe. It could be Brad or Ralph or maybe John. Joe's just a hypothetical, okay? And Roman's not afraid of him, but he might be afraid of another guy in a mask." Now, Crane says, "What are you talking about?" Now, Harley says, "Let's phone a friend. Mr. Senator, care to assist the struggling contestant. It rhymes with Scarecrow." Good work. This guy is anything but dead weight. So Harley notices that the senator is not really gonna help. But that's when Crane says, "I'm not wearing a mask, especially not that mask. Now, if you can't help me catch Black Mask, then..." Now Harley sits down on her knees and says, Alright, jeez. Can't touch that evidence. Can't play with the corpse. Can't wear the creepy Scarecrow mask. And dose anyone with fear toxin. You're a dud, Crane. But here's your answer." She picks up the Black Mask and says, "I know you're all anti-mask now, but this is your ticket to Roman. If Roman's mass manufacturing these suckers for his crowns, why not go to the source? You see, there was a place out on the west side, back when it was just me and Mr. J. We was going through a lot of clown masks back then. You'd be shocked how much those things can cost, Crane. As Grandma Quinzel used to say, if you're not getting your clown mask wholesale, you're wasting your money. I think it was a Russian proverb or something, which is weird because I'm not even Russian. Anyways, if Roman's getting his mask in bulk, there's only one place in Gotham that's supplying it. Now, what we see, guys, is we see some of the forces of Jonathan Crane. They go into a warehouse, and they find a Sentry, right? Which is one of the robots of the Magistrate working with Jonathan Crane. But it goes against the different forces, the different peacekeepers. Well, I wouldn't say peacekeepers, just officers, you know? And they get destroyed. You hear noise on the other side. Jonathan Crane immediately, or we'll just say Crane, guys. Crane immediately hears it. He says no. He runs, and an officer comes out. Crane asks, what happened? And the officer responds, Sentry, it turned on us. Now Harley comes by with an umbrella over her head, and she says, I tried to tell you that going in without any, but that's when Crane shouts, this is your fault, Quinn. He stands up and begins to choke Harley. He says, I trusted you to help find Roman, and what do I get? Now Harley shouts, hey, and Crane responds, more dead man. I should have killed you when I had the chance to. But that's when a hologram on the Sentry comes out of the warehouse. This hologram is Black Mask. He says, Jonathan Crane, I hear you're done with the Boogeyman Act. It's such a shame. Crane looks back. He says, what? And Black Mask looks and sees Harley and Crane close to each other. You can say that. And Black Mask says, following the mask of the warehouse was a clever move, Jonathan. Though credit where credit is due, I believe that particular idea was the brainchild of Harley Quinn, no? The Scarecrow partnering with the Joker's girlfriend. Quite the pair you two make. Now, Crane looks up and says, how? And Black Mask says, if you're now asking yourself how I could have been so many steps ahead of you, Crane, you're missing the point. This city once belonged to me. I will take it back. The Magistrate, the Sentries, the Mercenaries, and the Peacekeepers. You and Harley Quinn, I will kill you all. Now, after this whole incident, we see Crane. He goes back to his bunker, right? And he's looking at the Scarecrow mask. Now, this is super interesting, guys, because what happened was he was talking to Harley, and Harley's like, the only way to beat Black Mask is if he is actually scared of something. If Black Mask is scared of someone, then he'll be weak, and they can take him down. Because right now, he feels like he's the top dog, right? Now, if Crane puts back on the mask and puts fear into Black Mask, they can defeat him. But Crane's not going to step over that line, or will he? This part, that's what we get, alright? We see Crane. He looks at the Scarecrow mask. He says, no, I can't. A mask is afraid of a mask. Now, an officer comes in. He says, sir, we've tracked Sionis down to the docks. And Crane says, get out. Now, the officer looks and sees the Scarecrow mask and says, what are you doing with that? And Crane throws a glass of coffee at the wall, frightening the officer a little bit. He says, get out. Now, he looks. He starts throwing everything at the ground. Papers, mask, just all sorts of stuff that he's supposed to fill out, you know, because he's under the Magistrate. But he says, Black Mask, Harley Quinn, the Magistrate. He looks down. He says, I've done everything Harley said. Now, we end this my way. So, Ski is now Scarecrow, guys. Jonathan Crane is back to being Scarecrow, and things begin to pop off from here. We shift to the Gotham docks, and we see Harley. She gets back her bat, right, and she's just knocking down stuff, causing property damage. Like, she's just, like, wrecking stuff, you know, as Harley Quinn would do. And she shouts, oh, Roman, come out, wherever you are. She starts to walk. Now, she sees in a window, Black Mask, Roman Sionis, right behind her. And that's when she looks back. She says, huh? She goes to swing, but Black Mask catches her bat, and he says, manners, Quinn. I just had this suit pressed, and your blood is hardly worth a dry clean bill. Where's Crane? Surely you're not out here all by your lonesome. Now Harley says, I escaped, and I'm ready to pledge to your little sorority. Do I get the mask directly from you, or is there some kind of mail away promotion? Now, Black Mask is not by this. He's not by that Harley escaped, now she wants to join his clan, right? Not his clan, but like his group, you know? Like his gang. You guys know what I mean. Just join his whole entire, like, operation. So Black Mask is like, yeah, cut the crap. Like, I know what you're doing. You don't actually want to be on my team. You're just like bait, right? Harley's actually bait. And Harley responds with, okay, if I'm bait, you still came. And Black Mask then says, Why should I hide from Jonathan Crane? I'm right here, Crane. Come and get me. Now, Scarecrow in the distance says, Roman. And Black Mask responds, Crane? Scarecrow continues, do you remember how it felt to be alone in the dark as a child? Every bump or creak, every shadow dancing across your wall. And Black Mask looks up. He's surrounded by his guys. Like, he's surrounded by a lot of his team. And he says, where are you? Face me, Crane. And that's when Black Mask's forces begin to get hit by the fear toxin. And one guy begins to scratch himself. He says, ugh, they're under my skin, I feel them. So, the fear begins to take over Black Mask's forces. So now it's just Black Mask versus Crane. Just one-on-one. And yet there's Harley on the side, but she's not really doing much. But Scarecrow continues. The mind truly can concoct the most awful terrors. Can it? When you are alone in the darkness, Roman, what terrors do you see? Guys, you see this amazing splash image of Scarecrow in, I wouldn't say a futuristic outfit, but it's a new design. It looks pretty dope, and it looks so cool. Fear Toxin behind him, guys falling down behind him, Black Mask's forces are down, Scarecrow is like full back to like just terror mode, guys. Like, if I saw this in the street, I'd be like, man, I'm dead. I'd be freaked out. Now, Black Mask, I wouldn't say he's freaked out, but he's a little bit. He just saw all his guys just fall to the ground with fear. But Black Mask just looks up. He smiles and pulls out a gun. And Scarecrow says, the monsters in the darkness drive you, Roman. Now, Black Mask shoots his gun. He says, Crane, damn it. He misses Crane because he tries to shoot, but all he sees is fear toxin. Now, obviously, the fear toxin hasn't gotten to Black Mask yet. Now, Scarecrow says, but if you're not careful, the monsters will consume you. Now, Black Mask throws his gun to the ground, pulls out a knife. He says, your gas won't work on me, Crane. And Scarecrow comes out of the shadows. He says, it's not the gas you should fear, Roman. My toxins will merely materialize. The nightmare's already in your... But that is when Scarecrow is knocked to the ground by Harley Quinn with her bat, alright? So she hits him to the ground, he falls down, and Black Mask looks up. He says, Harley? And Harley says, you know, my other broads run around Gotham beating up streaks with baseball bats. Seriously? Do you? I think we'd be friends. And Black Mask is surprised. He says, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I appreciate your help. Now, that's when Black Mask continues. He says, Gotham is in worse shape than I could have imagined, with a magistrate and men like Crane. Now, Harley puts her bat toward Black Mask and holds Scarecrow by the head. She has a toothpick in her mouth. She says, I'm gonna stop you there. My quota on overly pretentious, condescending monologues has already been met for the foreseeable future. Now, she then hits Black Mask in the neck with her bats. And Black Mask then gets up. He says, don't do this, Harley. I could help you. So basically, Harley is hitting Black Mask's mask, and if it breaks through, the fear toxin will get in, and it'll take over him. And you guys already know, Harley's got the plan going. She puts on the Scarecrow mask, she goes toward him, and says, can you help me find the release for the gas? Is there a switch, or, never mind, I got it. Now, that's when she breaks Black Mask's mask just a little bit. The fear toxin gets in. He says, they're coming, make you stop. So Black Mask is now falling to the ground. He's in fear, and Harley walks away with the Scarecrow mask on her face. Now, all the officers show up, and they pick up Crane. They say, we got a live one here. Can we get a medic? Now Crane gets up. He says, huh? Oh, well, where's Roman Sionis? And the officers respond, easy. He's right there. They point, and we see Black Mask. He's on a bed. He's done. Like the fear took over him. And he keeps saying, he's coming, don't let him get to me. And Jonathan Crane looks back. He says, and Harley? And the officers say, not here, sir. Now, Jonathan Crane, on his knees, says, Harley, did she did all this? Harley Quinn has ruined me. Now we see Harley. She makes an alleyway. She puts down the Scarecrow mask. She says, smells like bad seafood in this thing. You know, I never did like masks. She throws the Scarecrow mask back in the garbage and walks away. So that was Future State Harley Quinn number 2, the finale to the series. Quick series, you know, only 2 issues, but it was a really strong series. I thought issue number 1, part 1 of this story was good, but this issue was so good, guys. Like, things really popped off, and seeing Black Mask, like, Black Mask has always been one of my, like, not favorite characters. I like him. He's a good character. He's cool. Every time he shows up, he makes a cool appearance. He has some great dialogue, and he's very menacing, and that's him in this issue. He's great. Now, Scarecrow was really dope. He gets the mask back, but things really get good when Harley knocks out Scarecrow, breaks Black Mask's mask, and then begins to take the Scarecrow mask. She puts it on, puts fear into Black Mask. Harley takes down 2 villains in one shot. What's the saying go? She broke 2 birds with one. She broke 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, actually, yeah, that is true. No, she broke 2 birds with 2 stones. Like the bat and then the Scarecrow mask. Like, she broke Scarecrow with her mask. No, she broke Scarecrow with her bat by hitting him, and then broke Black Mask with the Scarecrow mask. So yeah, she broke 2 birds with 2 stones. But it's pretty cool. I liked it. The ending where you see both of them are done. Black Mask is still going crazy. He still has a lot of fear. Scarecrow's like, crap, Harley played me. And Harley's like, you know what, I never liked masks. And she throws the Scarecrow mask in the garbage. Like, that was just so good. It's a simple ending, but very good. Like, just wraps it up. This whole story fit Harley Quinn, and not in the way that it was too overly Harley Quinn. And what I mean by that is some Harley Quinn stories are just kind of stupid because they go too zany. Like, it's like, oh, she's destroying the universe. Oh, she did this and rebooted the DC universe or something like that. It's like, no, you're trying too hard. Where this, it's like, all right, it fits Harley Quinn, but it's also still a fun story that has a great villains, has some great pacing, doesn't go too zany that it just removes story structure. I don't like when stories go, like, so zany that there's no story structure, it's just all over the place. This is the Harley Quinn that I like. I'm actually excited to see, what was the writer on this, actually? Hold up. The writer on this was, gotta check real quick. Okay, the writer on this was Stephanie Phillips. She did a great job, and she'll actually be doing the series coming up, the new Harley Quinn series with Riley Rosmo. Now, Riley Rosmo, we'll see. The previews actually look pretty good. I'm actually excited for that Harley Quinn series, and I will be covering on the channel, but I did really like the artists on this issue. Like, guys, Simone DeMeo and Tony Infante, their art was just so good. Like, wow. The one splash image of Scarecrow looks so dope. All the action sequences, the facial expressions, it gives me, like, that good anime vibe, you know? Like, some anime, okay, I watch anime, guys, like, no duh. But anime, sometimes, like, the style, the art style can be good, but sometimes not really good. And this issue reminds me of that art style in anime that is really good. It's kind of flashy, but it's not too flashy that it looks stupid. Like, it's flashy, but it has a lot of detail, it looks cool. It fits the tone. I just really like this art style. It fits Harley so much, and it fits the, like, the futuristic type style. So yeah, overall, guys, this issue was a really good issue. Like, it ended the story on such a good note. Story, pacing, artwork, character dynamics, twists and turns. Like, you guys definitely gotta pick this up, alright? And give the new Harley Quinn series coming out a try, alright? Check it out, alright? Even before I review it. I'll probably review it before you check it out. But if I don't, check it out, alright? Because Stephanie Phillips showed that she is actually a good writer by this 2-issue series. So yeah, overall, I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. And guys, tell me your thoughts on this issue down below. What would you give it from 1 to 10? If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up on YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next DC Future State video. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.